Imagine your brain is a high-security vault. It's the most complex machinery in the known universe, designed with one single purpose: to keep you safe, motivated, and moving forward. Every decision you make is guarded by logic. But now, imagine a tiny chemical, a molecule so small you can't even see it, that has the master key to bypass every security layer you have. It doesn't knock. It doesn't ask for permission. It just unlocks everything. In an instant, your reward system is flooded. A rush of euphoria so powerful that it makes your best memories, your first crush, your biggest achievement, your favorite meal, feel like a dull, gray shadow. But here is the terrifying truth: your brain wasn't built to handle this much pleasure. To survive the overload, it starts to break its own locks. It begins to rewire itself in the dark, turning your survival instincts against you. Why does a person who has everything, family, career, dreams, choose a path that leads to total ruin? Why does the brain literally crave its own destruction? Today, we are going deep inside the neural pathways to decode the haunting psychology of addiction. To understand why your brain turns into its own worst enemy, you have to understand the currency it trades in: dopamine. Most people think dopamine is about pleasure, but they're wrong. Dopamine is about anticipation. It's the brain's way of saying, "Hey, pay attention. This thing is important for your survival." In a natural world, dopamine is measured. You eat a slice of pizza. You get a small spike. You finish a hard workout. Another spike. You see a message from someone you love. A gentle wave. This is your brain's gold standard, a balanced economy. But when drugs enter the system, they don't just spark the engine, they blow the whole radiator. They force your brain to release 2 to 10 times the amount of dopamine it was ever designed to handle. It's like trying to power a simple LED bulb with a bolt of lightning. This is the hijack. Your brain is tricked into thinking that this substance is more important for your survival than food, water, or even your own family. The survival center screams, yes, while the logic center is completely silenced. But the brain is a master of adaptation. To protect your neurons from burning out, it does something drastic: it starts to delete its own receptors. It literally pulls its plugs out of the wall. This is why the high starts to fade. The system is now broken. And the very thing that gave you wings is about to become your cage. Now we enter the most painful phase of the cycle, the chase. Remember how the brain pulled its plugs out to protect itself? Well, those plugs were the same ones that allowed you to feel joy from normal life. This is the state of anhedonia. A state where your brain is physically incapable of feeling pleasure from anything natural. The sunset looks gray. Your favorite food tastes like cardboard. The laughter of your friends sounds like empty noise. Your brain has raised the price of happiness so high that only the drug can pay for it. At this point, the user isn't chasing a high anymore. That's a myth. They are chasing normal. They are taking the substance just to stop the shaking, just to quiet the screaming in their nervous system, just to reach a baseline where they can simply exist. While this is happening, your brain's executive center, the part that says, "Stop, this is killing us," is being starved of energy. Addiction has effectively performed a chemical lobotomy. It has cut the wires between your knowledge of the consequences and your ability to act on them. You are now a passenger in your own body. You watch yourself make the wrong choice, you feel the guilt crushing your chest, but the lizard brain is now driving the car. And it only knows one direction: survival through the substance. For decades, we believed that addiction was purely a chemical hook. If you take the drug, the chemical takes you. End of story. But in the 1970s, a psychologist named Bruce Alexander noticed a flaw in the research. The rats used in addiction studies were always kept in small, lonely, empty cages. They had nothing to do but take the drugs. So, he built Rat Park. It was heaven for rats. They had high-quality food, space to run, and most importantly, social connection. In both cages, there were 2 water bottles, one with plain water, and one laced with morphine. The results were staggering. The lonely rats became obsessed with the morphine. But the rats in Rat Park? They almost never touched it. Even the ones who were already addicted started to choose plain water over the drug once they were moved into the social environment. Professor Alexander realized that addiction isn't just a brain glitch, it's an adaptation to a cage. When a human being feels isolated, trapped in a job they hate, or disconnected from a purpose, their environment becomes their cage. The drug isn't the problem, it's the only way they know how to endure the reality they are in. But what happens when the cage stays closed for too long? This is where the damage becomes structural. Your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, is responsible for long-term planning, morality, and impulse control. It's the part of you that says, if I do this today, my life will be ruined tomorrow. In a brain struggling with addiction, the CEO has been fired. The wires connecting your knowledge to your actions are physically frayed. This is why you see brilliant people, doctors, and artists, lose everything. They aren't stupid. They are operating a vehicle with no brakes and a locked steering wheel. Their brain has been reprogrammed to see the substance as more vital than oxygen. Logic doesn't stand a chance against a survival instinct that has gone rogue. When the midbrain takes over, the human part of us simply goes offline. If the brain can be rewired for destruction, can it be rewired for healing? The answer lies in a beautiful, life-changing scientific concept called neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a piece of stone, it is more like plastic or clay. It can be molded, reshaped, and healed, no matter how deep the damage seems. Recovery isn't just about quitting a substance. It's about building a park so beautiful that the drug loses its power. It starts with small, microscopic wins. Every time you choose a healthy habit over an old impulse, every time you take a walk instead of reaching for a distraction, you are physically building a new bridge in your brain. It requires connection. Remember the Rat Park? Humans need a tribe. We need a purpose that is bigger than our pain. When we replace isolation with community, the survival brain finally stops screaming, and the logic brain can take the wheel once again. You are not a broken machine. You are a biological marvel that survived a hijack. And the same brain that craved its own destruction has the power to build a masterpiece. The first step isn't willpower, it's understanding. The human mind is a battlefield, but you don't have to fight it alone. If this deep dive into the science of addiction helped you see things differently, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Psychology Decoded to keep mastering the hidden mechanics of your behavior. Let's understand the mind, one layer at a time. Stay curious, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next one.